Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself, James Smith, otherwise known as Scapegoat 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself, James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going way better than fantastic. And your journey to self-betterment is going way better than fantastic as well. Today, I wanted to revisit or talk about a topic that we've talked about on this channel and other channels for years. And that is narcissism and self-reflection. And how we understandably believe narcissists cannot self-reflect. And when I say understandably, I think you will see what I mean in a moment. So I think this topic of narcissism and self-reflection ties into various topics within narcissistic abuse. Let me give you an example. Have you ever met someone that was really off as a person? I guess that's the best way to say it. Meaning they didn't seem to be mentally ill. Or so one might think. But they just talked and talked and talked about things that just really would put off anyone. And they shared way too much information about themselves, which would again put off most anyone. When I see or come across someone like this, I think to myself, if this person isn't clinically mentally ill, which they could be, I think to myself, I bet there is a narcissist parent or parents that were responsible for raising this person. And this goes even deeper. You see, something I've talked about before. Narcissists like producing what many could call a weird child. Because if this child is strange or weird in their dealings with others, they likely will never form any healthy bonds, friendships and/or connections. And this will make it so this child will have nowhere to go or be when they grow up, except to be with their narcissist mother or father or both. All to be their form of narcissistic supply. But I think it's even deeper than that. And this goes into the self-reflection or us believing the narcissist doesn't have the ability to self-reflect. You see, I believe this narcissist mother or father at some point in time understands what happened to them when they were younger. And how they missed and lost so many life opportunities because they don't fit in well around what we would call normal, healthy, well-adjusted people. They might look back and remember that person that might have liked them as a puppy love crush. But once they got to know each other, this person was totally turned off by their weirdness. This now narcissist parent couldn't see it at the time, because they were stuck in their own narcissism that their two narcissist parent or parents instilled into them. But somewhere along the line, they do what? They self-reflect and they figure it out. Let me give you an example personally. Towards the last handful of years of my narcissist mother's life, my golden child narcissist brother oftentimes would yell and scream and holler at my mother for various things. Now I believe my mother knew this would happen so she could turn him into the scapegoat, as I wasn't around in the capacity to be the scapegoat anymore. Though I was there when she got really sick. In a way of accepting there was no change in her. And I just wanted to make sure things ended well. So I could end things the way that I felt for me was right. It might not be right for others. But for me it was right. However, because my mother and brother lived together, there was tons of him yelling at her. And the reason I believe is because he realized what his life had become and what he had lost. I believe he self-reflected enough to get that my mother ruined his life and turned him into the strange individual that he became. Now, did that self-reflection lead to him making changes in his life? No. Because the hold of narcissism was just too strong on him and his life. But I started to think about something. If one is dealing with a narcissist that isn't born, but one that is made, could a trained professional help a narcissist if they were in this state of self-reflection? And could they possibly build upon helping them if they were in such a state? Now I say this as a question. Because the truth is, If you meet someone that you believe is a narcissist, get away from them. Do not try to fix or help them. Run and save yourself. They will only pull you down and ruin your life. However, if we are talking about the professionals out there, is there a way to help some? Not all. But some narcissists that develop their narcissism because of circumstance, not bad wiring. And my thought would be the chances would be extremely low. However, if there were a shot, it would have to happen in the middle of an opening that shows up in this narcissist's life. Such as them being angry about how their life turned out based on how they were raised. Because here's the thing. The golden children. They get really messed over. Because we, the scapegoats, though many of us got kicked out, put out, and told we couldn't come around the house anymore, or we left on our own to escape. The bottom line is we got out of this toxic home. So we could eventually learn how we grew up was complete garbage and we were set up to fail from word go. And this is where many of us will admit. Though we had empathy and love and kindness going for us, we sadly ended up with traits that were similar to the narcissist that raised us. Until we were able to truly reflect and make changes in our lives. Now for us, it was and is way easier for us to self-reflect. 1,000,000 times easier. However, sometimes it's still not that easy. Because one of the traits a scapegoat might develop that is similar to their narcissist parent is a hypersensitivity to criticism. Now, there are many people out there that are just plain mean and they love to be mean to people like us. However, I'm sure there might have been times way before you knew about narcissism and the toxic nature of how you grew up, where you were around others and they were kind of treating you like you were off, if that makes sense. And we might not have went home right away and chose to make a change. We might have gotten mad at these people and wrote them out of our lives. Then after this happening a few times, we did what? Self-reflect. And even then we might not have gotten things right. It might have taken several times before we truly understood that though we were and are kind and have empathy, and we meant others well and weren't looking to manipulate others, unlike our narcissist parent or parents, we still sadly had a trait or two from our toxic parent or parent that was toxic in its own right, and these traits didn't take us down a path where healthy, well-adjusted people would want to be around us. And then that's where the change started for a great many of us. Yes. Most of us were way more normal than our golden child siblings could ever dream of. But many of us still had to do the self-work to become the people we are now. You see, the narcissist in this instance can find themselves in a state of self-reflection. However, they never get out of the state of anger and into making a positive change in their life. And if they end up having children of their own, they knowingly, and I believe knowingly they are doing this, knowingly they will do everything in their power to make their children not be able to connect with others. Not just so they can keep them as a form of narcissistic supply, which is a big reason, but not the only reason. But in addition to this, they are subjecting their children to such things because they have self-reflected on why they missed out on so much in their lives. And instead of making a change with their children, they can't stand to see their children have better than them. So they self-sabotage. And again, if you have a narcissist in a clinical setting, and they are angry about missed opportunities because of how they were raised, if this narcissist isn't born, meaning it's not their wiring that is bad, but they were made, is it possible a professional could build upon this brief moment of self-reflection? I say this because, yes, we are looking to get away from evil any chance we get, and to safely stop it if we can. And this might be a way, if caught early enough, that possibly a clinician or professional might have some success. Yes. I think it's better for the public to know and believe that narcissists do not self-reflect as a rule. But the truth is, I believe they do self-reflect. Not often, but they do. The problem is what they do about things once they do self-reflect. And I think this heavily ties into, do narcissists know what they are doing and that it's wrong? And the answer is for the most part yes. Sure, there are times they are on autopilot and doing what they do and giving no real thought to some of the things they are doing as being right or wrong. However, most of the things they do, they look for scapegoats ahead of time. They plan several steps ahead before they often do many of the evil things they do. When around you they treat you badly. But when someone else walks in the room, they straighten right up and act differently. This is showing us they know what they are doing. Because if they didn't, they would treat everyone the same. And this shows they are thinking and understanding. Well, if they are understanding, they are weird or strange to some degree and they turn off healthy people. And they are angry they didn't live a normal life. And they are rightfully understanding their narcissist parent or parents had a big role in this process. Well, this means they are thinking and understanding. Can they change? Likely not. Will they react in a way that is counterproductive to these new findings about their behavior? Yes. They will likely do things that will make their life even worse. Should you help try to fix or save them? No way. Get out and stay out if you can. But I ask this question. Could a trained professional, if they got the narcissist in a state of self-reflection of how they were created, could they be helped in any way possible? I was thinking about this tonight, and thought I would share this with all of you and see what you thought about it. Well, that's all I have for now. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.